Welcome to the show, 5-Star Fam. I'm AJ. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Ooh boy, welcome to another episode of 5-Stripe Weekly, and we have some spicy comments from Josef Martinez coming up later in the episode, but first up, it is the match review of the 3-0 loss against Austin FC at the Benz, and it is definitely one of the worst losses that we've suffered at home in recent memory / really almost ever. It is not pretty. Albeit it's against a club that's looking at the standings between both of the clubs. Second in the West for Austin FC, having a great year, and Atl Utd in the dredges. We're 11th place in the Eastern Conference, and this kind of told the tale a little bit before the match even started. But Austin FC, they apparently rested both of their leading scorers for this match. Kind of telltale of the state of Atl Utd and what they think of the competition at the moment. They rolled that die and it worked out for them. They proved to Austin FC that, why they are one of the best, if not the best, road team in MLS this season, and one of the highest scoring teams. We came out of the blocks pretty decently with the first scoring chance, but Austin FC, they kind of showed why they are so hot right now, and it is not pretty on our defense. It's basically, without going into the weeds, it's symptomatic of a lot of ball watching, a lot of switching off, not following runners, players on the back post not being marked, runs not being checked, just overall awareness from the defensive line and the midfield just not there. Kind of checked out maybe at times. It's something that's obviously been symptomatic throughout this season, and it reared its ugly head again today, or not today, but in this match. And Atl Utd, we had our chances in some senses, and I would say, their keeper did make some good stops, looking at that XG, we had like a 1.65 XG. We probably could have had 2 goals in this match, but the clinical nature of this squad at the moment, not quite there fully either. It is, of course, just the second time that Luis Araújo, Thiago Almada, and Josef Martinez all started together, but we did see that Marcelino Moreno was not started in this match. Ronaldo Cisneros was favored, and Josetu Ibarra in that midfield again. On paper, attack and midfield wise should be enough to at least make some noise, and I think you have the inexperience, you have the naivete of the back line, in which Aiden McFadden, a rookie in MLS, just made his debut 4 matches ago. George Campbell also not a super experienced player, and then of course teenage homegrown Caleb Wiley as well. Alan Franco is tasked with leading this back line, and also Rocco Rios Novo, who not very much too experienced either, and although very good on the ball with his feet, still wanting in some areas of shot stopping as well. And there are, I think it's this too. Is it really his fault on some of these goals? I wouldn't really say so. There were some parries and some good blocks made by Rocco Rios Novo, a double save at one point, it's yeah. I mean, at this point, you tip your cap to Austin FC largely, but you also, I think, acknowledge the shortcomings and the pitfalls of this very inexperienced and young defensive side that has been depleted by injuries, but also, we will talk about Josef Martinez's comments about motivation from the players. Apologies, I'm about to sneeze. Maybe not. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, Atl United, we took 19 shots and we ended the night scoreless. It's definitely, yeah, something pretty awful in that regard of being clinical. But like I mentioned in the in our recap of on social media, attack wise, it didn't look absolutely hapless. We were creating those chances. I think, looking at it from an objective standpoint, it's not really, always on the attack. There's a game state that really plays into this as well. 1-0, 2-0 is way different than a 1-1 or a 2-2 or even leading. There is a lot of unluckiness as well, not only with injuries obviously, but with our ability in front of goal. There's just some chances that are missed, and the team starts pressing in the sense that they feel the nerves to score in front of the home squad, or in front of the home fans, and it's just something that gets harder and harder as the lead gets more and more insurmountable. But I think another thing that needs to be talked about in this match is that first 7 minutes and 30 seconds of silence in the supporter section. Definitely a poignant message sent by the fans that because the club stayed silent on the Roe versus Wade being overturned, there's every right that the fans shows their displeasure at the club, at the state of the club, for essentially, not sticking up for the female fans. There are a lot of people upset at this, and however which way you stand on the matter. I mean, you think about it from the standpoint of you have sisters, you have mothers, wives, girlfriends, people that are in your life that are female. That I think it behooves everyone to listen to the arguments and listen to why people are upset, and not dismiss the reasons why as some sort of kind of dismissive comment of ridiculousness that can be part of it. And it's one of these guys, like, if you have problems with me talking about this, so be it. But it's part and parcel of I think of our society, and this club is something that we all want to be proud of, and there are people that are very much in the looking at the club right now, that this is not a good look. This is the club wise not putting out any sort of statement, while other clubs have, and kind of oftentimes we've seen something from the club. Maybe is it just to appease some of the louder parts of the fan base? I mean, sometimes it is, and sometimes we question if it's coming from a from a genuine place. But the tifo this time as well, there was a message that was sent, and it wasn't really put out on social media. Very fascinating indeed why why there are parts of it that are, kind of put out there, and then parts of our whole culture that are not. And I think it's something that we need to audit completely and hold our club accountable. But back to this match, it is very unfortunate results, and let's get into the spiciness after the match. So into the news. And that news is that Josef Martinez, he went on a little bit of a rant. It was very, I think, not very emotional. It was very, matter of the fact, really, the way he delivered it. But he mentioned that, when he was asked about what happened, he said, "This happened months ago. It's not a surprise for us. We played like this months ago." On being asked when Pineda saying the team needs to show more fight for each other, and if it hasn't been happening, how's it going to start Wednesday night? Joseph said, "I don't know. You guys are journalists. You can analyze it better than us from the outside. What was said in here will stay in here. And you can have your opinions out there whenever you want. You guys decide what you want. Since 2017, a lot of things have changed, so there aren't any surprises. We have a lot of players injured. They came here and played better than us and deserved to win, so it's not a surprise that we lost." On Gonzalo Pineda's comments about seeing a different team on Wednesday night against Real Salt Lake, he said, "Soccer, sometimes you win, sometimes you can lose. It's a sport. Probably we have to apologize to the people who came here to watch the best soccer. Probably it's not the best day for us. We try to fight. They were a better team than us. The next game is the next game. You never know what can happen in the next game." He also talked about if he agrees the coach's comments that the team isn't fighting for each other enough on the field. He said, "Yeah, actually 100%. This didn't happen today. It happened at the beginning of the season. We play because we have to play, but in training, some people don't have that energy. Some people don't know what they have to do, or they don't recognize or appreciate the jersey and what we've been doing for a long time, and probably that's the biggest problem. The injuries isn't the biggest problem. We play soccer and you can have injuries every day, and some people still think, oh, because we lost that guy, this guy, we all make mistakes and we are professionals. We are not kids anymore. And if you come here and you have to know what you have to do, and you don't come here for 100%, probably you don't have to choose to play at this club. That's the message for everyone. If you want to bring guys here, it's because they want to play here, and it's not because of business. And that's been happening for a long time." Ooh. Really, really interesting comments there. And this comes on the heels of pretty much the press conference being delayed for an hour after the match. And so, obviously there was probably a little bit of some hairdryer treatment from Gonzalo Pineda after this match. Lots being said. Maybe the players coming out and saying something as well. Maybe the locker room leaders, maybe Josef Martinez. We don't know. We may never find out. But I think this bit from Josef Martinez that, the players that have been brought here because of business, I think, you've kind of seen this where players that are of the ilk of a young guy that's from South America that, maybe is want away already before he even comes into the club. And then, guys that, maybe are not quite ready yet and are brought in because we can maybe possibly make, buku money on their transfer fee in the future. Is it something that we need to audit from the front office that, those players that are brought in need to be guys that want to be here, that, I'll get into maybe a little bit more of my thoughts in a bit. But Josef Martinez, he mentioned more as a leader and captain, if he's spoken to these players about his concerns. He said, yes, and it could also be my fault. Maybe, as they say, the tree that always bears the most fruit is the one that's also picked the most. I'm the first one to recognize that we've had bad games, and we've also brought many good games, and we brought this city a lot of joy. But it's a strange year, and that's life. Sometimes we have to fight with what we have and move forward. The people who are with us now, like the 70,000 people who were here tonight, know that they're with us, and we hope the good times come back again. He also mentioned about this being his last year, and him not knowing if he's going to be here. Or he's got one more year on his contract, rather, and him not knowing if he's going to be here. But he said on his comments, if he wants to stay here as long as the team wants him, is he thinking about possibly leaving? He said, I still have 1 year. I enjoy every day because I have to say thank you, God, bringing me back to the field. I try to do my best. Sometimes I can play good, sometimes not. Sometimes I can score, sometimes not. I put my whole body on the fucking field, and this is not discussed, but it's soccer, it's life. Probably this team needs more players, and we think about it. So, very interesting comments from Josef Martinez, in which, has he been playing his best soccer? Well, he is 2 years now removed from the ACL injury, and if you know anything about ACL injuries, it's basically, that first year is very much the recovery year. You're still getting back to the norm, and the year after that, you may still have some niggling things that return, but you may not fully get back until probably the third year, and so it does speak to that in the recovery period, that hopefully Josef Martinez can get back to his best, and the explosiveness that's obviously the type of player he is. But obviously we need to start thinking about if Josef Martinez does have a long-term future here. If he next year doesn't return to his best, what would we do? It would be a matter of if Atl United wanted him. Now, really getting into now what's going on at Atl United and what's going wrong. There could be really a number of things. Obviously, injuries play a big part right now, but there is that stat out there that Atl United, we've won one game in 61 games against teams that are above the playoff line. Think about that again. In our games since 2020, one game in 61 games against teams above the playoff line since 2020. Like that's pretty terrible. We've beat up on the lower teams in the table, and anytime a team that comes in that is higher up in the standings or playing well, we just have not done it. And there's, I think, something to that. Carlos Bocanegra, he since 2020 he's let go of and fired 2 managers. There has been quite a bit of turnover on players, and we've spent about $20 million without a manager at times as well during that time. And I think you got to look at the type of players that Carlos Bocanegra has brought in. There is also Darren Eales that's part of this in that ethos of bringing players that might fetch a big transfer fee later on, somewhere in Europe, and that's the hope. But you look at Ezequiel Barco, who's since gone on loan to River Plate and hasn't gone for a big transfer fee. Miguel Almiron did. He's had a fledgling career at Newcastle United, not really always starting, but has had some decent moments. But we bring a lot of South American players into this squad, and some of them are established, a lot of them are not. Some of them are super young and are unfamiliar with this league, but also still learning their trade. I think there's a lack of MLS pedigree. There is maybe a little too much focus on the youth And there is that where we, move on some talent from the academy to Europe, but is there a like through line of of a vision of what we're doing here? I'm not sure that a lot of fans are seeing that. I mean, there's also maybe a lack of motivation, as Josef Martinez has pointed out, that maybe some players are not trying as hard in training and also in the matches. I mean, who is he talking about? We can only speculate, but some could blame the coach, as Gonzalo Pineda. He is, still a relatively inexperienced coach, and it's one of those things. Are the tactics really to blame? I'm not really seeing that. That's really the largest issue, as the in terms of our build-up, our pressing seems fine. Our shape mostly complements the attributes of our attackers, albeit Josef Martinez, he is starved of a lot of service, but he also, because if you look at, the 2017, 2018, 2019 season, the type of service he's receiving is very different now. He's mostly having to poach goals versus, on that counter, on that, the ball over the top, or the through balls, the near post runs where he's met with service that's the type of service that he needs, that's low to the feet, that he can redirect into goal. It's really vastly different, the type of passes that he's getting, and so we're not really catering to him per se either. So kind of choose really what you're wanting to do. You bring in players that can actually feed the guy, or also is he part of the problem? Some fans might say that he's a shell of who he once was, but I think you can also point a large part to defensively. The players, they switch off far too often, too naive, a lot of ball watching. I mean, it is basically that. I mean, the front office definitely plays a large part into who are brought in, and then Gonzalo Pineda, obviously, with those players, has to find a cohesiveness in that, in how we play. But obviously, all of these things play a massive part into the state of the club at the moment. But I think a lot of fans will point to injuries, that we have like a starting 11's worth of injuries. You have Ozzy Alonso, a player that probably played a big part into our earlier games, that we looked pretty competent. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, we still have not been world beaters. We we feasted on the teams lower in the table, and ultimately, with the injuries, with the recruiting, with just the decisions that have been made so far, what can be said is that it's obviously not working. I mean, we're 11th in the standings, and we're in mid-July, more or less, and I think we need to start looking at the leaders at the top, and how it trickles down from there, because this has been going on for some time now. And Carlos Bocanegra, Darren Eels, Arthur Blank, they all need to start looking at each other and seeing what they can do to improve things at Atl Utd. Right now, fans are upset, and they have every right to be, because we all pay good money to to see this team, and right now, every which way, there's a lot of things that are upsetting fans. And whether however which way you look at it, the fans are the lifeblood of the team, and so the club really needs to figure it out and figure it out soon. There is still a window right now, and it's basically sink or swim. What do they want to do? We brought in a couple new players, Raul Gudinho, Juanjo Purata. Juanjo Purata made his debut for the club, versus Austin FC, and it's how are we going to use these players, and how successful can we be with them? Obviously we shall see. But guys, let us know in the comments below what you think, what's going on at the club. But let's get into the match preview for this week. We have a midweek match, thus this very early episode this week. But Atl Utd, they will be playing Real Salt Lake on Wednesday at the Benz at 7:30 p.m. And Real Salt Lake, they're third in the West. They're doing quite well. They attack-wise, they always get a lot of runners into the box. They're dangerous when they're chasing the game. They're just a club that have some good attack at the moment. Maybe defensively, not the strongest. And in transition, they might be able to be had, which plays into some of our strengths, really. But getting into some key departures from Real Salt Lake. Albert Rusnak, he of course made his way into Seattle Sounders. Anderson Julio, also a big departure for them. But a key acquisition for them was Sergio Cordova. He was a key senior addition so far, Venezuelan international, 24-year-old forward. And essentially, Justin Miram, being re-signed there too. He is a big part of what they can do as well. It's maybe someone off the bench, but also Everton Luiz, another player that's has been big for them as well. But the predictions early on before the season, the pundits had them finishing as high as 10th and as low as 14th in the West. They didn't see a lot of ability in this team, but they have surprised everyone, much like Austin FC. And that Western Conference does look a little bit upside down at the moment. But this will be a very, very difficult match again, and on short rest for Atl Utd. But let's get into the starting 11 predictions for the home team. And I think Gudinho does come in for Rocker Rios Novo. I think you have the new toys. We just got beat 3-0. Let's try it out. That back line, I think, will be McFadden. Alan Franco probably will keep his place. I think Juanjo Purata should be the guy that comes in on this match. George Campbell, he still learning on the job. I think there will be some other games that he will be able to play a part, but I think Juanjo Purata comes in on this one. Caleb Wiley is the left back here. Some people have questioned why Wiley is continuing to start, but I think Mikey Ambrose, although he's a veteran, I think if you're going to take the lumps, and especially with this kind of young player that I think you didn't really bring in somebody that could in this transfer window that could play over him. I think you see Caleb Wiley start over Mikey Ambrose, as you already know what kind of quantity we have in Mikey Ambrose. But moving into the midfield, Josetu and Ibarra, I think, are the two in there. You could start Sadic or Santiago Sosa. I think you will need to see some rotation. Maybe it might be against Orlando City, but I think it's going to be Josetu and Ibarra in the middle there. Araújo, Almada, and Marcelino Moreno comes back, taking the place of Cisneros. I think here, you got to persist with the attack and continue to grow that chemistry. And I think you see Josef Martinez up top. He might be hooked maybe a little earlier in this one. Although, will the club do anything about what he said in this one? I mean, I think in terms of post match, I'm not really sure you do. I mean, yes, Josef Martinez is leveraging his cachet with the fans a lot. Last time that happened, of course, Gabriel Heinze was fired pretty much pretty quickly after that. But I think you see, Josef Martinez, he speaks a lot of the truth here, and whether he's not been performing up to his best ability or not, I think you see that his points about player motivation, that's very much clear, and it's for Gonzalo Pineda. He needs to bring in the guys that are playing to the best of their ability and are every single game motivated, every single play, working their socks off and switched on, and that's what Gonzalo Pineda, he's tasked with doing right now. But that's the lineup. Gudinho, McFadden, Franco, Parata, Wiley, Josetu Ibarra, Araujo, Almada, Moreno, and Josef up top. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But that gets us to our score predictions for this match, and I think we can pull out a 1-1 draw. I think it's something that, maybe it's 2-2. Maybe we because both teams are a little bit shaky at the back. Maybe a lot of bits as far as we're concerned. This this can still, I think, be a draw. We can get a result out of this. You saw against NYCFC that we were able to fight and fight until the last minute. I think there will be a response, and although it might not be a win, I think it will be a result in a draw. So, guys, that pretty much does it for the episode, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, what is most to blame for the state of the club right now? Do you think it's the injuries, player motivation, the coaching, the front office? Let us know in the comments below. Really curious to what you have to say. But guys, that is the episode there and there. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. I've been AJ. Thank you so much for watching.